All right, so I want to welcome you all, and we're going to get started with this project. The most important thing whenever you're sewing anything, the pattern is labeled with a grain line. It's always going to tell you this is a grain, you have to cut it on grain. This tight woven edge is called the selvage. So we want to make sure that these two are lined up and stacked perfectly straight on top of each other. A lot of times you can rip the fabric, but if it's not woven straight, it's going to be crooked. You ever had a pair of pants, the sleeves seem like the seam kept twisting to the side? Yeah. It's cut off grain. So it's very important that you cut it on grain, because if you don't, the seam on the shirt is going to twist to the front or twist to the back. It's just never comfortable. So we want to make sure that we line the fabric up. You see it didn't match, these two, but we want to make sure that they line up exactly on top of each other. So a good idea is just to push them over together and pin them together. And then we're just going to take the rest of this and push it out. And if you like, you can take it to the ironing board and press it, but you don't want to press a crease in it, because then you have a crease down the front of your shirt or down the back of the shirt. So we don't want any creases. All right, you just want to make sure that it's lined up straight. So these are labeled with the grain lines, and it's telling you to cut it on the fold. So you see that this is one piece of fabric, and this is the fold line. And if I line this up on this very edge, when I cut it out, it's going to open up, and it's just going to be one whole piece. So that's the way this shirt is made. There's no seam down the front. It's one whole piece. So we want to line this up on the fold line, and then we will pin it in place. So we want to make sure everything is on grain. So I always like to pin the center, top, bottom, all the corners, because when you go to cut your fabric out, if it's not secure, it'll move and you won't get the exact shape. So you don't have to overpin it, just enough to hold it in place. This shirt back is also cut on the fold. So I'm going to do the same thing, line it up on the fold. So always try and make them close to each other so you don't waste fabric. Because eventually inches and inches add up to yards, right? Add up to waist. So these two are easy, they're on the fold. The sleeve is not on the fold. So we have to measure to make sure that the sleeve is on grain. So you're going to take the sleeve and measure from the selvage to the grain line, and whatever measurement we get, we want to duplicate it at the top and the bottom. Because if we don't, say for instance, if I line this up with my ruler on my tape measure and it says 9, that's just whatever the measurement says. This is 9. And then I leave it here at 9.5 or 10 or whatever, it's going to twist and the sleeve not going to hang straight, all right? So whatever measurement I get here, 9, I want to take the ruler and line it up on 9, and I'm going to take the pattern and move it till it line up on 9. So we need them both to be the same. So that when you sew it together, it's going to fit properly. So my other pattern pieces are my collar and my facing. So this too is going to go on the fold. And since this fabric has no pattern, some of the patterns they go in the same, like this is the top, this is the top, this is the top. This is the top, but it's okay for me to turn it the other way if I could get it to fit on the fabric. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so sometimes you can switch them around and make it fit. And then this I probably can move a little bit more and get it to fit. But it's a lot of fabric in between here, so I can go back and measure this right here, even though it says I need 1 But if I cut two, I could just discard one.
Okay.
So again, I need to measure it to make sure it's on grain. This one here is coming out at 5 3/4, so I want to put a pin at the bottom to hold it in place. And then I'm going to move it up to the top and find 5 3/4 and move it over and line it up so I can cut it. Do that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I had to move it over to 5 1/2 because it was overlapping. And then I have my collar and my back neck placement. So my collar says cut 2, and a lot of times on the pattern, the grain line will be one way or the other. So this has a lengthwise grain line. You can check and see it won't fit there. Wherever it can fit, so you don't waste fabric, but we see it easily fits here. And then I have to cut out my back neck facing, and that'll be all the pattern pieces. All right. So sometimes it's measured with the tape measure. Somebody want to try? Come measure, Jonathan. Right, why not? All right, 6 1/2. And we always want to measure the one end and then the other end instead of in the middle. Okay, 6 1/2, and do the same down there. So we need to move it. We need this to be right at 6 1/2, and then we'll move this to line up with the 6 1/2. Move your finger lesson. Right there. And then pin it in place. Here you go. So for me, I take the pin and make it hit hard on the table so I can push it up through the fabric.
You make it seem so easy.
Because I'm used to doing it.
Yeah, no, I figured it was one of those, you know.
Yeah, that's what I said. Let me try. And really it is more difficult because this paper is hard. It's heavy, it's kind of thick, you know.
You got this, it's okay. Okay.
So I just make it hit the table and then push it up. See? It's like, really? Right. So again, I want to pin all the corners to make sure that they lay flat. So when you cut, you'll get the good corners. All right, the last one. Let's get our back neck facing. So really, this is an easy shirt. The most difficult part of this shirt is doing that little placket on the front neck. So I'll help you, I'll draw it in for you, and I'll demonstrate how to do it. You won't have a video on how to do it, and then sit down and do it. The pants are really easy. That's why I want to focus on the shirt. Pants are simple. Shirt a little bit more technical, and of course it's more pieces, so that's why I demoed how to lay it out on the shirt, because you know. All right, so when you cut the fabric, I like to make sure that my hand is along the side of it, and I don't lift it up while I'm cutting pieces, be lifting it all up, and if you do that, that'll make you cut it crooked. And I cut all the way to it, but I don't make the scissors go all the way down like that, because then you get choppy little lines, all right? So you want to just cut right along the edge, and keep your hand right along the edge. So I just follow the shape of the pattern and don't let the scissors come all the way down and meet each other, and then you'll get a nice smooth edge. All right, that's what you want. So you're going to see these little T's like that. That's a notch. that is talking to us, telling us that this needs to go a certain place on the garment while you're sewing it. So when we put the two shoulder seams together here, it's telling us we're going to have to, when we get ready to put in the sleeve, we have to match it at that point to make sure everything stay balanced this way and balanced that way. All right. So long as we don't make the scissors go all the way down, you will get nice smooth lines. And let it just glide right along the edge of the paper. And try and keep it flat. All right. We want to cut.
Where are those little cuts in the middle for?
To hang the pattern up.
Oh,
We go on a hook. Yeah.
save them.
Yeah. That's all.
You've been cutting this right.
Yeah. Not the best scissors. There you go.
I'm cutting the paper too.
Yeah, keep your hand right along the side of it. And you can go a little past it so you can get around it. There you go.
You make it seem so simple.
It's a practice.
Years of practice,
Well,
exactly.
I mean, I did tell her that we're new completely, so don't okay.
There you go. So if you do like long cuts, you won't get those little choppy lines like that. Instead of so. You know, so sometimes when you cut
Yeah.
and you cut, excuse me, in this direction and you see you having a difficult time,
Yeah.
you can cut this because we don't need this part out sloppy, and then take the scissors and turn it and go that way, and you may have better success cutting in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So you just got to play with it and see, oh, I can get closer to this and it's nice and neater if I cut this way instead of cutting this way.
Turn
So
your
try it this way, yeah, turn the pattern around.
Instead of you.
Yeah, instead of you struggling trying to get it that way. I'm glad that happened. I bet you cut better this way. But the scissors are a little dull anyway. See, it's much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, look at that.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Christine.
So you
Nice.
see, glad that happened.
Yeah.
So you know. Sometimes you have to turn it around the other way. All right? So here, because it's on a fold, I'm going to take this here and just snip it. So I know exactly where this is going to match up to this, because this is the back. I'm going to do the same at this front neck and the same with that, so I know everything is lining up perfect. We're going to go this way and curve out, stitch out around. But we don't want this front to be over on this front. You know what I'm saying? So we put those little notches there to help us get everything lined up in place. All right, so who's cutting next?
Let's try this.
Right?
Do you like the smaller though?
Now remember, everything is laid out so you can cut it out sloppy.
¿Quieres que te diga tips? Like I know. No, I'm kidding. Hang on.
Oh, you see?
That's all right, then go ahead and start this way and go this way and see if that works better.
Yes.
It's all trial and error. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this part off the bottom and separate it.
Big scissors.
Right. That's the real deal right there.
No, ya, no se sabe otra vez.
A ver, carreritas. No es cierto, no es cierto.
No, yo sí está muy bien.
Y el caso de
No, I'm gonna take my time because no.
Imagínate, nosotros haciendo historias.
Ay, no, hablaríamos las 5 horas ahí.
Yeah, right.
How long have you been doing this, if you may ask?
Well, I used to teach at Illinois Institute of Art, and I was there 27 years in fashion design, teaching sewing and pattern making, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, see there, he's knocking it out.
Yeah.
Now again, if that's difficult, that way you can cut across, like I cut it out in between the pattern, so you could turn it around. Or you can just take it right there, stop right there.
Yeah.
Stop right there, because it's already pinned in place.
Oh.
And turn it around.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
So just remember, you have those options. It's secure, it's not going to move. See, that just works better for you that way, right? In the
Yeah.
other direction.
Chetela.
¿Chetela dijiste?
Estoy dejando un chetela atrás.
Oh, son de...
Chetela. I guess.
Done!
Yeah.
So I'm going to notch this a little bit, just a little bit from that.
And if there's something on the paper that says that we have to cut it there, or
Do you know what? Because that one is on a fold, it don't have a notch there. But I could put one there.
oh,
Just a reminder. Yeah. Are we going to cut our interfacing for the collar because we need a stabilizer? So here's the sample. We made the sample.
no, this one she made. You made
Oh, you
this
made this one?
Yeah, I made
Yeah.
this one. Yeah, so we can see how it looks.
She was asking if this was one of the. I'm like,
The
no.
ones we had.
Like, it looks like it, but it's not.
Right, because then
Oh, the fabric
we need
is-
to make
yeah.
sure I made the sleeve the length of the one you gave me with the cuff.
Oh yes. So because the ones that we have had also the buttons and all that. We have
Right, right.
This-
So I was concerned about whether the sleeve was too long because now they don't have
pasa
a
si no
cuff.
corta?
Which means you can't button it on your wrist.
No, this is
That won't be a
this is
problem?
no, it's not. No,
Okay.
this is perfect
Okay.
because either way we end up rolling it up for the kids or leaving
Perfect,
Yeah.
because some of them got it, got it. And I changed the color a little bit. It was like that on there, but I changed it to make it just go straight up.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. Because it does look a little.
Yeah, it looks like it overlap a little
Yeah.
bit.
So
Yeah.
okay.
So
So it's kind
I
of
altered a little bit.
perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. It was the only little difference that I'm like, it looks a little different. But,
Right.
Oh,
So
that's the silver.
So
I think
yeah.
you just need to check that to make sure that that opening is long enough to go overhead.
Okay. Yeah. She ended up just leaving it so it can go straight. So it's yeah. Just
What if the scissors doesn't cut?
don't. Oh.
They dull and they need sharpening. That's all. And so then the next thing we're gonna need is
60. Se aprende bien rápido.
just for the collar, we need a little interfacing to stabilize it. So this will get pressed onto one side. It has glue on it, and you can tell the difference because the other side is smooth and the one side is rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that side we'll press onto the collar, and that
That's here?
Yes, in there. It should be. I didn't put it in there, but I think we should to make it a little stuffer so it
Nice.
just stay. I can do the dull scissors. They're definitely dull.
Why'd you borrow my scissors?
Ese es el collar, ¿verdad?
Yeah. Vamos a hacer las dos exercicios.
Wait, you?
So didn't you all have a surgery?
I'm sorry?
The sewing machine is surgery.
Oh.
Did you all bring it?
Yes.
Okay.
These are purchased. These are the ones that were purchased from Frida. Remember? I think I had that,
Right,
you guys.
right.
Yeah.
But didn't you all have a surgery? A finisher?
No.
No. Okay.
No. That's why we wanted to do it here. That way, you guys, you know,
All
you
right.
can show us the difference, what it looks like with the serger
Definitely.
and
What is that?
So the serger. Can I explain?
Yeah.
The serger
It's
is
the
the
machine
finish.
that did this finish.
Yeah.
To clean it up on the inside.
Okay.
Right. Because I was going to show you all how to thread
No,
it.
no, lo mismo.
So no.
Isn't everything the same?
No, this is a different machine, and the machines that we have. doesn't-
Right.
Yeah.
But
it
I can
doesn't
show you how to
have
do a
this.
zigzag stitch on
Okay.
this machine.
Yeah.
So you can have a finish on it. It won't be as clean as this because this has a razor on it and it cut all the threads off the edge before it's sewn. So it's real clean.
Wow. Yeah.
Right.
We'll see
But
how
we
good
can,
we
but we
can.
can still finish it.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm gonna just press the fusible interfacing on the back of the collar. Just one of them. It's glue on it already. So we want to just stabilize the collar. And then actually we're going to sew those two together. So that's going to be that's all of it for laying out the fabric, cutting it on grain, and you all had a video for a reference for later. Okay?
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right.